Yeah, let me get started. What we're going to do tonight, we're going to build this little Raspberry Pi. Before I get going on it, I got a little presentation that I put together so that we can kind of get a bit of an understanding of what this is before I get too far down the road. You want to run the presentation?
Yeah, and we're trying to record this for the first time.
Yeah,
it's a Zoom recording.
Oh yeah,
so.
We're doing something new tonight as well. We haven't done before. Basically, we're going to run a Zoom recording, which Steve is doing. So you have to kind of bear with us if we get kind of
wonky,
off track and a bit wonky, because he's going to have to switch from the camera to a Google presentation.
Right. And
yeah,
here we go.
Okay.
All right.
So the first thing is, what is? Let me see if I can get on here. What is a Pi? You want to switch to the next slide?
Yeah.
What is the Raspberry? I want to talk about what is the Raspberry Pi. What do you get when you buy it? Where to buy it? A little bit about what you have to do to get it ready to build, and then a little bit about the software, how to install the software, and what you can do with it, and then any questions. So without further ado, let me get going. Pi. You want to flip slides?
Yeah.
Let me sit down. Basically, it's a single board computer, and it's an all-in-one computer. It's got everything on it. You can see basically we got, and I'll show you a real one in a minute. We've got USB ports, we've got an Ethernet port, we've got an audio jack. There's a kind of a module where you can do all sorts of things with it. This shows it as a camera module port, but you can do more than that with it. It's got an HDMI output, so you can plug it into a monitor. And then it's got a micro USB power cord, which is basically, if you got a micro USB cord like you have with you, Apple typically, you can use that to power the device. And then the whole thing is operated off of a micro SD card, which is a little teeny card, which, they come up to like 64 gigabit, I've seen 128 gigabytes.
It'll support that?
Yes, yeah, it'll support it all, especially the new ones. This right now, Raspberry Pi is on like its 4th generation. So it's not a new device. It's been, I forget when they first started, probably about 10, 15 years ago is when they first came out with the first device, but they're now up to generation 4. Oh. Where it differs from a normal computer is instead of using an Intel chip or an AMD chip, which uses what they call x64 architecture, this uses an ARM chip with different architecture. So without getting into too much detail, what that means is it's very efficient, and it's uses basically a chip similar to what you have in your cell phone. So it uses less power, and it doesn't get so hot as your x86 type chip that you got in a normal computer. So when you move to the next slide, when you buy it, you can buy the card on its own and then buy bits and pieces to stick it together, or you can buy a kit. And if you've never built one before, the best way to buy it is as a kit, and that's basically what we got here. This is what you see here. This is made by CanaKit. They've been around a while, and they're probably one of the easiest ones if you've never built one before. They're one of the most reliable, I'd say, to buy from is CanaKit. And the price they run from like the kit runs around $100, but if you for the Pi 4, but the Pi 3 is still available, and the Pi 3 is still pretty powerful. I've got one in my bag. Well, I won't get that right now, but if you want afterwards, you can come by and see it.
What's in the glass display?
The one in the glass display is a Pi 4.
Okay.
Yeah, if you go down and look in the glass display, we got a monitor running with his pictures on it. That's a Pi 4 that's running that, which is the same as this one here. And the basic difference is that It's a more powerful chip. It's a stronger chip. And I'm not sure what. Oh, one of the big differences, I guess, is this one has two USB 3 ports. So it's got two USB 3 and two USB 2. So you can plug, like typically I'll put like, I don't know whether you can see what I've got on the back up here, but this little 1 terabyte hard drive, I can plug that into the back of the Pi. So I can get 1 terabyte of storage. And if you put one of these little doodahs on it, you can put 4 of those in there. So you can put 4 terabytes of storage on there if you want. So it's basically, it does all that your normal PC does. And in fact, it does a hell of a lot more than a PC that you bought in the stores 5 years ago does.
So when you say you need a keyboard and a mouse,
No, right. In
But
addition to what you see here,
right?
there's 2 different ways you can operate it. You can operate it as a computer, in which case you'll need some way to control it. And you control it through a keyboard and a mouse. Damn, I forgot my keyboard.
But it's not Bluetooth. There's no Bluetooth in this, right?
There is Bluetooth.
Oh, there is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. There is Bluetooth.
Okay.
I haven't tried it out, but
That's
the
okay.
wireless device.
I
has
didn't
Bluetooth.
realize that.
Didn't you have a USB chip Bluetooth for it? For your keyboard?
No, I've got one for
Yeah.
the Pi 3, but for the Pi 4, it's got built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth.
And Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it's totally built in. Now, you can, what I was saying is you can configure it like a normal computer. You can run it like a normal computer with a monitor and a keyboard and a mouse. And then you can operate it that way, basically, just like you would any other keyboard. But you can also run it what I call headless, like a kind of a computer server, which is you can run it without a keyboard and mouse, and then you can access it via basically your normal computer using software called SSH. So you can SSH into